Okay, so we have a breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. US president said he had been really let down by Vladimir before suggesting that his invasion of Ukraine could spiral into World War III. We do have some more breaking news coming out. UK fears as West will come to bloody end in World War III in just 5 days. With tensions rising and wars raging on with no end in sight, one former NATO general admits things are about to get very dangerous for the West, thanks to one specific country. We're going to get to that one there, guys. And I want to show you this last one here. This is an update. We talked about this. Vladimir sparks fresh World War III fears with unprecedentedly brutal fighter jet move. Fresh new World War III fears have sparked after Vladimir sent jets into NATO member airspace without permission this morning, leaving officials furious at the brutal escalation. Now, Estonia just invoked Article 4. All right, so that's like the next step to Article 5. We're going to get to all this here. Poland, Romania, Estonia, you have Finland. You got these alliances on high alert. You guys already know France urged hospital to get ready. The UK is urging millions to stockpile in food and water. And we are definitely seeing some stuff going down right now on September 19. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support is what keeps us on air. All right, let's see what's going on with these 3 very important news articles. The fed up U.S. president slammed his Russian counterpart for taking out many before revealing one move that could put an end to the biblical war once and for all. It says here, the U.S. president said he had expected the war to be among the easiest to resolve because of his relationship with Vladimir, but admitted that has not happened. Suggesting Vladimir invasion could spell out into a global conflict, the U.S. president said the Ukraine war doesn't affect the U.S. unless you end up in a world war over this thing. You could. So asked about how to put an end to the fighting in Ukraine, the U.S. commander suggested if the price of oil drops, Vladimir is going to drop out of that war. That's what Donald assumed. That's what he believes. But what did Putin said back in 2023 when Joe was president? Putin says if his economy goes down, if everything started going down, he's going to drag everyone with him. All right? So I guess Donald missed that message back in 2023. And I'm not trying to bash the Donald here, but he does get a lot of info that is not 100% accurate. For example, he still believed that the bear lost over 1 million soldiers and Ukraine only lost 50,000. Yeah, that number is too good to be true, put it like that. If the oil price comes down, the bear will settle. Slashing the global oil prices could deal a huge blow to Vladimir, stripping the bear off the cash it ranks in from Europe and therefore weakening the war machine in Ukraine. Lower oil prices could be achieved by other countries increasing drilling rates, flooding global markets with cheap energy. Now, the US president later said that the conflict was heading to a third world war, but suggested it was not imminent, emphasizing that the war never would have started if I were the commander. The US commander also said Vladimir invaded Ukraine because he didn't respect the leadership of the US. Yes, that's true, but he also invaded because he knew Joe was weak. He took advantage. It says here, the Dawn referred to his multiple calls with the U.S. With Putin, saying that Mad Vlad saw cranes as the apple of his eye, and he later said he had no regrets about inviting the Russian leader for a historic meeting in Alaska last month. It says here, the U.S. commander added, he's, Vladimir, taking many people, and he's losing more people than he's taking out. Frankly, the Bear soldiers are being taken out at a higher rate than Ukrainian soldiers. I'm sorry, Donald, but again, that right there, I cannot agree. If that's the case, how come the Bear is not weak and they still strong? And on top of that, they just announced 700,000 soldiers in Ukraine right now. It's millions that have passed in that biblical war. Millions of souls. And they're not sleeping giant soldiers. They giving that man the wrong info. Man, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh, but Donald got the wrong info on that one. The most powerful men in the world also claimed that the soldiers were being out at a levels nobody's seen since WW2. Are you serious? WW2 was brutal. You can't compare WW2 to Russia and Ukraine. Again, like I said, they're giving that man the wrong info. The comments come as Starmer and the U.S. commander hold a press conference just hours after announcing a groundbreaking tech deal. Now, the UK Prime Minister chimed in following the U.S. commander comments on Ukraine, saying that they were working together to end the taking out in Ukraine. Starmer also said the biblical war was a challenge to Europe and criticized some countries in the West for being too reliant on the bare energy. But he emphasized there was no simple silver bullet while calling for tougher sanctions. The U.S. Commander also faced down a range of other questions, from his stance on Gaza to the Jeffrey scandal. Asked about convicted of the Jeffrey and others, he said he didn't know the Labour grandee before quickly deflecting onto the Prime Minister. Man, even in England, they want to know about Jeffrey List. You guys know Donald said that he was going to release him once he become the commander, but it's just a whole different ball game now. I feel like both sides were in that island, and there was a lot of crazy stuff going on. And again, revenge belongs to God. That's all I gotta say. God will seek his revenge for those who did bad things to these young ones. All right, so it says here, Madison was sacked last Thursday after the UK ambassador to the US was revealed to have continued his friendship to disgraced financier Jeffrey after his first conviction in 2008. Pressed on the Holy Land and Gaza war, the U.S. commander stressed the importance of not forgetting the heinous October event, and he told reporters that he disagreed with the Prime Minister on Starmer's decision to recognize the palace as a state. He disagreed. He disagreed with Starmer. Donald said he disagreed with Starmer over the prime minister position to recognize a palace state. The U.S. commander said, I want those innocent, the hostages, I want those innocent released now. Right now. Not 1, 2, we'll give you 3 more tomorrow. He praised his administration work for organizing the release of so many. And he added that he was shocked to hear of their harrowing treatment by Hamas. The U.S. commander said, we have to remember October, one of the worst, most lawlessness days in the history of the world. I think it's going to be okay, but it has been a brutal period of time. He added, I have a disagreement with the Prime Minister on that score. One of our few disagreements, actually. The U.S. commander also told reporters he has seen the tapes from the infamous October event. He said, young ones that are 4 months and just, that's brutal. That is brutal. But Donald, let me tell you something. There is famine going on right now. And you thought those young ones, and rest in peace to the young ones, they're with the Lord right now. If you think what happened to those young ones are brutal, you should see what's going on now with the famine. Those young ones, they have no protein. So a lot of this stuff here I'm just gonna skip, guys. Very, 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 very concerning news when it comes about these young ones. Alright, so please pray for many out there. I will share these links in my Twitter page. Let's go with the next one. UK fears as West will come to bloody end in World War III in just 5 days. Hold on, let's see what's going on here, guys. Let's see what's going on here. They have a tank camouflaged as a bush. Christmas tree. Christmas tree is coming early, guys. Okay, so it says here, one country's involvement in World War III could spell the end of the West, according to one general. He outlined the possible outcomes if an all-out biblical war began, and many do not show a good sign for the UK. Several biblical wars are ongoing around the world, with some political analysts already believing that the WW3 has already begun. But for one general, things will reach a new level once the Red Dragon enters the battlefield. Following comments by NATO Secretary General about the Red Dragon military goals, fears are rising of what a war with Beijing could look like for the West. Well, it's not going to be pretty, I'll tell you that. It's definitely not going to be pretty. Now, one general has revealed the current outlook, and it is not looking good for the West if the Red Dragon gets involved. You have General Richard, former NATO Deputy Supreme Allied Commander for Europe, said the war will likely begin in the Baltic state, with power outages hitting all 3 nations. Ooh, man. But particularly Lithuania. As the initial phase of the war gets underway, the state imposed martial law. As power outages, the initial cause of the unrest, began to spread across Europe. So, power outages, martial law. According to this important individual, that's what's going to happen. Once again, Sheriff put the initial start date for WW3 as November 3rd, 2025. as the UK, France, and Germany begin to lose their own electricity supply. So this person put the initial start date for World War III as November 3rd, 2025, as the UK, France, and Germany begin to lose their own electricity supply. So WW3 is going to start November 3rd. Three nations is going to see power outages, and it's going to be martial law. I'm gonna use that as a title, but again, guys, these are the information that's coming out from former NATO general. I think that's what he believes is going to happen. He says that it is a desperate appeal to the public. Starmer will urge the nation insecure before pleading with the public to ignore waves of disinfo on the platform. Now, one day later, Vladimir will move troops from the Kaliningrad region to its border with Lithuania, with help from neighboring Belarus. This will eventually result in Lithuania being invaded in the first official land incursion into NATO territory by the bear, prompting all-out NATO to step in under its Article 5. Right now we're seeing Article 4. Wow. Following this, an all-out war breaks out between the bear and NATO, but NATO publicly implodes through social media due to a lack of public support from US commander. As after this, the Red Dragon leader will call Putin to congratulate him on the land grab and offer all help available to him in the biblical war. According to Sharif, this includes tens of thousands of stockpiled 122 mm and 152 mm shells, as well as hypersonic that can be launched from over 1,000 miles away. After this, an emboldened Red Dragon turns its attention to taking Taiwan, an autonomous land ruled by the Red Dragon pre-communist Gov. As a result, however, America is dragged into the biblical war, of course. But the U.S. commander eventually stalls and later confirmed that America has no intention of saving the island. Wow. Because of this, Western nations have no choice but to recognize the Red Dragon moves to annex Taiwan. Wow. Wow. Okay, so with France and later the UK formally recognizing the Red Dragon's sovereignty over the island, all by November 8th? I don't know, guys. I don't see that happen. I mean, that's like, what, a month and a half? He added, in just 5 days, and that's the reason why Donald canceled the shipments to Taiwan yesterday. There's a lot of information coming out about Taiwan. So he added, in just 5 days, the balance of global power has altered radically. The Red Dragon has seized the prize it long desired. The bear has guaranteed the eventual conquest of Crane and begun to reclaim the Baltic states. NATO has disintegrated, and Europe is preparing a new alliance with the Far East, and Britain is exposed as a tiny island no better able to defend itself than Taiwan. Wow. What are your thoughts on that one, guys? Now, again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's just, it's just their point of view of how this war is going to start and end. Alright, so I'm thinking about skipping this one here, guys. Give me a second here. I did post a video of it. I think I posted 2 videos of this news. Yeah, I think I post 2 videos of this news, but let me see something. There's possibly some breaking news updates on this one here. Vladimir has sparked new WWE fears after sending fighter jets into NATO members' airspace yet again. Now, the reckless action has been described as an unprecedentedly brutal escalation. So yeah, I'm just gonna skip this one here. There was MiG-31 jets enter Estonia airspace. Estonia has invoked Article 4. Alright, so we did talk about this one here. Give me a second. These jets did not have two-way radio communications. Alright, so they just went in there, they turned the transponder off, and they were in Estonia airspace for a good 12 minutes. 12 minutes. They were escorted by NATO aircrafts. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna skip this story here. But this is where we at right now, guys. This is where we at. The U.S. president is not happy about this. He's not happy with Putin, and he said that he stopped 7 wars, and he thought this one here was gonna be the easiest one. We all knew that Donald was not gonna end a Russia-Ukraine war. That was too much, man. That's too much going on there. But this is where we at right now, guys. I would keep it updated when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. What are your thoughts about the NATO former general putting out that message? So we're about to see something, and getting closer to the end of 2025. Once again, guys, there's no nothing to back that up. That's just him putting out his prediction, I guess. But this is where we are right now, guys. Nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, later. Peace.